One of my students said, "Oh my gosh, I took the orange line and I got off at Laurel Canyon and I saw these paintings that look very much like your style, these cherubs." And I'm like, yo, that's mine.
Hello and welcome to the Valley Star News Snapshot series, where we take a look at the individuals and programs that make up the diverse community in and around the Valley College campus. My name is Cassandra Nava, and today we are joined with Professor Phung Huynh, Valley's art professor and professional artist.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me, Cassie.
Yeah. So when you were young, your introduction to art came from your grandmother teaching you how to sew and your brother giving you a watercolor set. I found that immigrant parents tend to push their children into more stable or stable jobs. What was your family's reaction when you said you wanted to be a professional artist?
When I told my parents I want to be an artist, they were silent at first and just basically gave me the look that no way, it's not going to happen, right? Because as you know, my parents are refugees and they are really worried that I wouldn't be able to make a living. So I lied to them and said, right after high school, went to USC and said I was a pre-med major, but taking all these art classes.
So you stated you had a mentor who helped empower you and that you try to empower your students in your classroom. Can you give me an example of both being empowered and also giving that to the students?
Thank you. So my mentor is Charles Daly. He's an African-American artist, activist, and educator. And he played such a pivotal role in my life and my career trajectory because not only did he guide me in being an artist, but he taught me how to be an educator. And it's really hard to be both. I feel that oftentimes you'll find an artist who's great at making but not great at teaching, or can teach but cannot make. And Mr. Daly really equipped me with both. I think for me, it's teaching me how to love. I feel like the approach that I come to teaching is being the tough auntie. You strolling late, you're going to get the side eye from me.
Yeah. USC Health Center commissioned you to do a piece of public art. The piece, entitled Sobrevivir, focuses on the forced sterilization of Mexican non-speaking women in the 1960s and 70s. What was the process of making this piece?
Sobrevivir is the most important artwork I'm ever going to make in my lifetime. So in 2018, the LA County Board of Supervisors apologized to more than 240 Mexican origin, Mexican immigrant moms who were coarsely, or I'd like to say they were forcibly sterilized at the hospital between 1968 and 1974. Imagine being a mom, you work, you're from Mexico, you don't speak English fluently, you go to county to deliver a baby, and you're in labor, and you find out you need to have an emergency C-section. And you're given papers to sign, and you don't know what you're signing, but you trust that you're at the hands of healthcare workers who are going to take care of you. And you sign, you go through surgery, they take out the baby, and you find later that activists in the community told you that you were sterilized. That's just one, story. So this is just an illustration of what was happening to a lot of these young moms. And so ultimately I made a Corten steel floor sculpture that it's 21 feet in diameter. And I felt like Corten steel is such a strong material. It'll last forever. It doesn't matter if it rains or pours or cold or fire, no matter what, it's going to last and age with beauty over time. And so I thought that was very symbolic of the mother's resilience and what they've been through, their story, but also how this can function as a living monument forever. The floor is this design made of steel that you can walk on that supports your steps, and at night it lights up. But around the artwork are benches, so you can sit and contemplate. And behind the benches is a curved wall, so it functions almost like a hugging, right? An embrace, a physical embrace. And on the walls are the words of the mothers. The words that you'll see when you visit the space is, if you speak English, they treat you one way. If you don't speak English, they treat you another. And these are the exact words of the mothers. And this is how they felt. Another mother said, yo por dentro siento mucha tristeza. Inside I feel a lot of sadness. And another mother said, se me acabó la canción. The song of my life is finished. And I just want to share, like on the most part, I've gotten a lot of support, of this. Like, who wouldn't? Like, this is injustice, right? But there are folks who do not want this work to be there. And I remember while constructing the artwork, a nurse who was not from the community, full disclosure, white in a space that is mostly brown and Latinx, was really upset and said, "Why are you doing this? Why is this here?" And she's pointing specifically to the quote, "If you speak English, they treat you one way." And I said, well, I was hired by the county to make this work to apologize to the moms, mostly Mexican immigrant women, who were forcibly sterilized. And this is a painful history we need to reckon with. And she said, well, you could have done it another way. You are dividing us. And I said, I'm sorry you feel that way, but these are the words of the moms. And this is how they felt. And so when you ask me, like, what kind of artist or educator I want to be, that's the place where I want to teach.
Thank you for watching another edition of the Valley Star News Snapshot series. We'll see you next time.